Good morning, my dear students. Today we are here to start discussion about the prokaryotic cell, the first known prokaryotic plant that is popularly known as bacteria. See, bacteria. On the basis of this mode of or development of nucleus, if you are asked to consider a bacteria, whether it is prokaryotic or eukaryotic, so without any confusion, my loving, you can say bacteria are prokaryotic. Because in bacterial cell, the nucleus is without nuclear membrane, and you can say such kind of nucleus without having with the nuclear membrane is nucleated. So nucleated is found in bacteria. On this basis, it is considered as prokaryotic cell, and on the basis of presence of cell wall, the bacteria are called plants. Bacteria are plants. So the bacteria are most primitive prokaryotic microscopic plant, and these bacteria are very commonly found in the three respective parts of the biosphere. What are these parts? The underground watery part, that is known as aquatic medium, and here on the land and in the air. So the part of biosphere where life is possible, that is known as biosphere, and bacteria are found in these three respective parts of the biosphere. So a technical word which we are using for the occurrence of bacteria is known as cosmopolitan. So bacteria are cosmopolitan in distribution. This word is a technical word which you will see in your future study and future classes, higher classes. So bacteria are found everywhere. On that basis, the word is used cosmopolitan in distribution. Now let us see the bacteria are the shape of bacteria. Shape. On the basis of shape, bacteria can be classified into many types. See, some are oval, these are known as oval shaped coccus bacteria, coccus. Some are rod shaped, these are called bacillus bacteria, bacillus. Some are in the chain. So on the basis of structure, shape, bacteria may be oval, bacteria are very tiny structure, microscopic, which cannot be seen with the naked eye. I mean, bacteria you can only see with the help of microscope. That is why bacteria are microscopic in size, And these bacteria are plants why on the basis of, on the presence of, only due to the presence of cell wall. Many students and in biological field and the persons related to the biology, sometimes they are more confused whether bacteria should be called as plant or animal. Many, I have seen in my life, 16 years of my teaching, many more good students even, they are confused whether bacteria should be kept in the plant or in the animal kingdom. So bacteria are in fact plants, because the bacterial cell shows the cell wall. Cell wall is the characteristic feature I told you yesterday. Cell wall is important. Cell wall is the only feature, only concern, only ground basis to consider a particular cell as a plant cell. So this cell wall is found in the bacteria. Now some bacteria are oval, the coccus bacteria. Some are rod-shaped, bacillus bacteria. Some are spring-shaped, these are spiral bacteria, and some bacteria are found in group that is known as Sarcinae. So when only one spherical bacteria is found, then it is known as monococcus. If two bacteria then together, then diplococcus. So on this basis, number of the bacterial cell we can classify into the different groups. So bacillus, if single rod-shaped bacteria is found in nature, then it is known as monobacillus. If two are found together, diplobacillus. Like that you can classify the bacteria. Now see, the bacteria started the life and origin or formation of the plant. You can say the plant life originated from bacterial cell. That is why the bacteria are called most primitive prokaryotic plants. Now you see, the bacteria can be classified on the basis of mode of nutrition. Don't think that all bacteria, being plant, all bacteria are autotrophic. No. See here, some bacteria are autotrophic and some are heterotrophic. Many students, when they are asked to reply to say the difference between plant cell and animal cell, they only consider this characteristic feature, autotrophic, that all plants are autotrophic, animals are heterotrophic. No. From today onward, you must remember, you must keep in your mind very clearly that bacteria and fungi, like plants, show dual nature. So a number of bacteria are found in nature which cannot prepare their food by themselves, and these depend, in order to get food, these depend on others. So these bacteria are heterotrophic bacteria, and autotrophic bacteria, these are photosynthesizing bacteria, self food forming bacteria, and here heterotrophic may be of two types. Some are parasite and some are saprophyte. What are parasites? The bacteria which live, which survive, which obtain food from living host. These are called parasite. And a living host may be of two types. Sometimes the plants and sometimes animals. Very exceptionally, one kind of virus that is not that cannot be kept in this category, but living hosts are the plant, and wherever these bacteria as a parasite, these bacteria are found as a parasite either on the plants or on the animals. While obtaining food from the plants and animals body, they cause diseases. These bacteria harm the particular organism, host organism, from which they obtain food. See, on plants, the diseases caused by plant bacterial diseases, and in animals, animal bacterial diseases. See, these are the parasitic bacteria. And saprophytic bacteria are the bacteria, the species, the types of bacteria which obtains food from dead body, and that is why they degrade the dead materials, dead plant body, dead animal remains, and these clean the environment from any kind of odd or foul smell, disintegration of the plants, leaves, plant parts, animal parts, and dead body, etc. So now, when you go in little deep, especially for class 11 and 12, you can categorize, you can classify the parasite. See, this is suppose parasite. First I am taking the classification of parasite. The parasites may be of two types. Obligate parasite, obligate or facultative. See, this might be the new word, technical word for you people, but don't be confused. It is very clear. Obligate parasite. The parasite which is obligate in the nature is the parasite which only and only obtain food from living host. Not from dead host. Living host only. Such kind of parasite is known as obligate parasite. Sometimes the same parasite, obligate parasite, in the absence of, very unfortunately, under odd situation, abnormal condition, if the living host is absent for a short while, for time being, this obligate parasite will obtain food from dead and decaying matter. But not forever. This characteristic of obtaining food from dead and decaying matter for a time being, for a short while, till the occurrence or till they get the living host, they obtain food. And this mode of nutrition is known as facultative mode of nutrition, facultative parasite. Actually they are parasite. These must, it is essential for them to say a parasite, it is must to be dependent to to get food only from living host, but they show some dual nature. Sometimes in the absence of living host, they attack on the dead and decaying matters, and they survive, and this is what you can say the adaptability. In the very beginning, when we were discussing about the life processes, I told you about the adaptability. Adaptability is the characteristic feature of all organisms. So this kind of ability is also shown here in the bacteria, shown by bacteria here. And in the same way, the nature, the saprophytes, some bacteria show the regular saprophytic nature. See, saprophytic nature means this will only obtain food from dead and decaying matter. Suppose for this kind of bacteria, saprophytic bacteria, if dead and decaying, dead matters are absent, these bacteria will never die. These bacteria, for time being, as like parasitic, facultative parasitic, these bacteria show the dual nature, obligate saprophyte, and here facultative saprophyte. Make it clear. Saprophyte, it is must for these bacteria to get food from dead and decaying matter. But when dead matters are absent, these start getting food from living. Facultative saprophyte can be compared with the obligate facultative parasite. So see here, obligate means it has no any option other than the dead and decaying matter. These bacteria are obligate saprophyte, and sometimes in the absence of dead matters, these obtain food from living, but for a short while, not for regular, for a short while. This is known as facultative saprophyte. Now, on the basis of role played by bacteria, you can classify them into two types on the basis of role, importance. These are useful bacteria, and one group is the group of harmful bacteria. Useful bacteria we will discuss later. Harmful bacteria can cause diseases on animals' body, plants' body, and then the disease caused by bacteria in animal bacterial disease, in plants it is plant bacterial disease. Now useful bacteria in milk, you know, the lacticide acidic bacteria are found in the milk, which convert the lactose sugar found in the milk into curd. So the curd is formed as a result of the acidic bacteria present in the milk, and this bacteria, acidic in nature, will convert lactose sugar into curd. So this curd is useful and very ideal, very tasty nutrient for us, and not only as in the form of delicious and taste, but it is very, very energetic, and it plays a good role in our digestion and in our body. So this is one aspect of this curd formation. Some bacteria are useful in making antibiotic medicine, antibiotic medicine, the medicines, antibiotics which are formed from the bacteria, or the antibiotics which are bacterial in origin, these antibiotics are called bacitracin. Bacitracin. So, antibiotic bacterial in origin are known as bacitracin. Some in bread making, some bacteria are useful in duff formation, from which you are making jalebi and this dosa idli like that, and some are natural scavenger means cleaning the nature by degrading protein and dead remains of the plants and animals. So I think this is enough for today as an introduction about the bacteria. Next time we will discuss about the detail about the nutrition on the basis of nutritional mode. How can we classify bacteria in how many types, and what are the aspects and natures shown by these bacteria on the basis of nutrition. So this is enough for today. You revise and read, and again when you are coming to attend the class, you ask the questions related to the bacteria, and we will meet next time. Have a good day today. Thank you.